This story begins in the 18th century Australia. We see trying to comfort a crying child. Suddenly, someone calls out and walks away. Then a woman who had been watching from a distance steps forward and picks up the child in her arms. She then takes the child to a waterfall and, in a shocking moment, throws the child down the falls. She immediately goes to a church to confess her crime. For this act, she is brutally punished with a death sentence. Her body is later discovered in the forest, tied to a chair with her head in a cage. A mysterious man arrives, cuts off one of her fingers, and wraps it in a cloth. The second narrative introduces us to Agus, a happy 17-year-old farmer who is about to be married to a man named Wolf. She and her family travel to his village on a freight train for the wedding. Upon arrival, they find the wedding preparations in full swing. The villagers joyfully celebrate, lifting Agus into the air. As part of a tradition to teach her to be a good wife and mother, Wolf's mother gives Agus an apron and a childlike doll. After the wedding, Wolf tells Agus he has a surprise for her. He blindfolds her and leads her to a new house. Agus is worried when she finds out he took out a loan to buy it. Wolf reassures her that it's his responsibility and that everything will be fine. Later that evening, while the villagers are celebrating, Agus's family prepares to leave. Her brother gives her a gift wrapped in cloth. Inside, she finds the severed finger of the woman who was executed earlier. Her brother tells her it's a lucky charm, meant to bring her a happy marriage and a baby. Agus is overjoyed and hugs her brother, promising to miss him. Back at her new home, Agus places the severed finger under her bed, hoping for good luck. She prays to God to be a good wife and to have children soon. When Wolf comes home drunk, he yells at her and passes out. The next morning, Agus finds Wolf is gone. She looks for him and, while in the forest, finds a piece of paper with strange markings left by the dead woman from the first story. Soon after, she finds the woman's body, her head cut off and placed in a cage. Despite the horrifying sight, Agus soon finds Wolf fishing peacefully with his mother and other villagers. Wolf's mother orders Agus to work, but she struggles with the tasks. When church bells ring, Agus stops to pray, which irritates Wolf's mother, who tells her to get back to work. Later, while giving out bread to the workers, Agus gives a hungry man 2 pieces instead of 1. Wolf's mother immediately takes one back, surprising Agus. Wolf tells Agus she needs to wear more suitable clothes for her work. That night, Agus kisses the finger again and puts it under her bed, hoping Wolf will be affectionate, but he pushes her away. Heartbroken, she goes outside to cry. The next morning at church, she prays to a statue of Jesus to be blessed with a child. Later, while washing clothes by the pond with Wolf's mother, Agus meets a pregnant woman who works for Wolf's family. They go into the forest and fall asleep. When Agus wakes up, the woman is gone, and she rushes home. Wolf's mother is angry with her for being late and says, God never supports a woman who doesn't care for her husband or cook for him on time. She also insults a plant Agus has, telling her to throw it away. Agus feels hurt and asks Wolf if his mother will visit every day. He says he doesn't know and tries to explain that his mother is just strict. That night, Wolf ignores Agus again and she is left heartbroken. She goes to a small shack she built behind the house and prays. A butterfly lands on Agus's face, making her feel hopeful. The next morning, she goes to the pond to fish but gets stuck in the mud. Wolf finds her and helps her out, warning her that the mud is dangerous. Agus tells him she's punishing herself for not cooking. Later that night, Wolf leaves after hearing that something has happened to his friend. Agus, hearing a woman screaming, goes to investigate. She discovers that Wolf's friend has hanged himself. She watches as his body is taken away, leaving his mother distraught. Frightened, Agus goes home and prays for protection. The next day, a priest explains that because the friend committed suicide, his body will not be buried and his soul is lost. In contrast, the woman who threw her baby in the waterfall was forgiven for her confession and painful death, meaning her soul will go to heaven. Later, Agus sees the friend's body in the garbage with other criminals. The next day, while working in the fields, Agus starts her period and cries in despair because she had been praying to become a mother. That afternoon, a pregnant friend asks for an extra piece of bread, saying she is eating for two. Agus has to refuse. Wolf's mother adds, she should be grateful she's even allowed to work here, which angers and hurts Agus. On her way home, Agus, filled with rage, begins to hurt herself with thorny plants. Still upset, she scratches her tongue with a thorny branch, causing it to bleed heavily. After scratching her tongue, Agus lies down next to the headless woman's body to rest. When she doesn't come home that night, Wolf's mother complains to him, calling Agus a bad wife who doesn't do her work or provide children. Wolf defends her, but his mother insists he should have married a local girl. Agus, who was listening outside, is heartbroken. She spends the night singing to the headless woman's body to calm herself. The next morning, she goes to her childhood home. Her brother finds her asleep and her mother comes out to talk to her. Agus tells them she is scared and doesn't want to live with Wolf anymore. Her mother tells her that's her home now, but she will be there for her if she needs help. That afternoon, Wolf comes to get Agus. When she refuses to go, he and her brother force her to come back. Once home, Agus is broken and refuses to do any housework. She sleeps all day and prays. Wolf's mother gets angry and tries to take her to the doctor, but Agus puts on the clothes herself and leaves alone. On her way home from the doctor, Agus sees a strange little child on the road and, believing the child is a gift from God, takes him home. Wolf's mother is furious and forces her to return the child. Agus leaves the child where she found him, hoping his parents will find him. That night, Wolf is out drinking, while Agus is in bed consumed by depression. She takes out the severed finger, licks the blood, and prays. She then starts trembling and collapses. She has a vision of her own dead body being buried. When she wakes up, Wolf is choking her. He is fed up with her and walks out. He returns later to take her to the doctor again, but Agus says her time has come and asks for a priest to confess her sins. Wolf panics and tells her the priest isn't home. Worried her soul will go to hell, she confesses to him that she drank rat poison. Wolf forces her to spit it out, saving her life. Soon after, Wolf's mother arrives and helps a weak Agus get dressed. Wolf carries her to her mother's house and tells his mother-in-law what happened. He says he thinks Agus is possessed and that it's best for her to stay there. He then says goodbye and leaves. The next morning, Agus feels better and cleans her room before leaving her parents' house. In the forest, she finds a group of children playing and asks one of them to show her a shrine in exchange for some money. At the shrine, she asks the boy to pray with her. Suddenly, Agus stabs the boy in the neck. As he pleads for his life, she continues to stab him until he dies. Looking at his body, she says, "Now you won't commit any crimes. You are just a child, so become an angel in the eyes of God." The next day, she goes to the church and asks to meet with the priest. That night, she cuts her hair. The following day, she confesses all her sins to the priest. She confesses to being a bad wife, having bad thoughts about her mother-in-law, and failing at her duties. She also confesses to drinking rat poison, thinking no one could help her. Finally, she confesses her most terrible sin, killing the child. She says she did it, hoping he wouldn't grow up to commit crimes, and so her soul would find peace. Crying, she begs God for forgiveness. The priest absolves her sins, telling her, "God has forgiven you." Agus feels immense relief and begins to laugh and cry, as if a great weight has been lifted from her heart. The next day, people started posting pictures of her crimes on trees just like they used to do before. Agus is then dressed in animal skin and paraded around the village on a cart. Eventually, he is brought to the place where he is to be executed. He's made to sit on a chair, and a mask is placed over his face. Wolf is among the crowd looking deeply saddened. He's crying as Agus begins to sing a slow, soothing song, confesses everything, and then his head is cut off. Suddenly, the mood of the crowd changes. They all begin to cheer and feel joyful. The blood flowing from Agus's neck is collected in a bucket, and people begin paying money to fill their cups and glasses with it so they can drink it. They believe that since Agus confessed his sins and his prayers for forgiveness were accepted, his blood is now pure and sacred. Drinking it will bring happiness and good fortune into their lives. The villagers begin dancing in celebration while Agus's head is hung from a tree. And with the end of August's story, the story ends here. Thanks for watching.